You know, I don't have an artist style because I'm not a master of drawing. But whenever I see all these pretty artists within me wishes to draw like them. So I have an idea. What if I draw in different artist style too? But here is the twist. I will be using only one reference and drawing it in different artist style. So let's get started. Since there are ocean of art styles, I will be only trying three different art styles. The one I picked are these simple manhwa realism. Yeah, I know, so creative. It just I don't know art style. What is art style? I found all the reference on the Pinterest. Anyways, so let's start with simple art style. Even though there were so many different simple art styles, I picked this one because it's easy to understand and looks pretty too. I liked that it uses simple line art instead of clean and well defined like in manhwa or anime. It's loose but pretty, and the rendering even better. I feel like this is watercolor rendering, but I will be drawing it digitally, so I will make sure not to turn it into flat and not over render it too. Make it clean and simple like the art style. So first I roughly drew the reference, pose and defined the liner like the big style. It looked easy but it was really hard. They look so clean and mine looks so messy and noob type like I am. Anyways, once the line art was clear, I blocked the shape in one solid color and painted inside it. First, I rendered the face. I was confused between the simple rendering of reference and the complex lighting of other reference. So I decided to go with simple rendering, which still follows the art style rendering. After that, I painted hair. They looked nice, but mine looked flat, so I added subtle shadows in hair and highlights, but not overdid it, kept it clean and simple like the art style. Lastly, I simply put a background to pop the painting from the canvas. Once I was done with the rendering, I color adjusted it using the filter tool. Once I was happy with the look, I stopped adding so many ones. Next, manhwa art style. This one is my favorite. Though it has many variations within it, few things are still consistent, such as realistic anatomy, and still you can take artistic liberties with it. Rendering is detailed but simple too. You can choose either way or stay in the middle. And my favorite part, beautiful line art, which it always has. I feel like line art complete the drawing at least 70 to 90% depending on the level of detail. I'm just saying that manhwa art style is often line heavy, though it can be render heavy too. Anyway, so I like all of the art style which comes under this particular art style. I picked this random one because it was not too hard, not too simple. It has some level of detail. When I was drawing the reference, I really struggled with hair because like in manhwa, you have to clearly define them with clean lines, not leave it rough or blocky like realism. After struggling for a good while, I settled with the result. And when it came to rendering the face, everything was good. But whenever I have to put light on the face, I became really confused and overwhelmed. So my simple face rendering turned into my default rendering. It's not crisp and simple like the manhwa art style, not realistic like realism. I kept fixing it until I was somewhat satisfied with it. It doesn't turn out like the art style I went for, but still, I learned from my mistakes that do not over render every little detail. Anyways, so next is realism. Not hyper realistic, but real enough that it doesn't look like 2D drawing. More like 3D with no line art. I'm too weak for it and not my preferred style when it comes to painting because I'm into more observation reference than mimicry, so it was a tough challenge. So for the drawing, I kept the process similar like manhwa style, but this time I didn't use too much line art and left everything in big shapes because at the end everything will be painted over. First, I rendered the face with big shapes and put the big highlight in the face. Then I rendered the hair like I always do. This time I didn't struggle with the hair, maybe because I have drawn the reference twice. However, I did face struggle when I have to put light on the hair. I didn't know how to achieve the goal without ruining the underpainting. So I used the airbrush and eraser to carve the light. It didn't look good, so I used a brush hair texture and used it to create small hair strands which were in light. It was drawing and erasing till I was satisfied. Lastly, I painted over the line art to get rid of the 2D nature of it. And after that, I was done. Not gonna lie, I like the realism drawing better, even though it doesn't look like reference, nor like a realistic drawing. Anyway, here are all the drawing of different art styles. Simple art style, manu art style, realism. Let me know which one you like the most. And here is another drawing I did using the same manu art style because I like the reference so much. That's it for this video. See you in my next one.